Hello and welcome to Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
If it's your first time here, you picked a good time to stop by. We're doing something a little different today. The end of the year is upon us. 2022 is coming to a close, and we thought, good time to look back, see what was going on maybe 20 years ago, and talk about the top-selling albums of 2002.
Yeah, we actually kind of had noticed 2002 was actually like a pretty big year for a lot of things that we remember really well.
I think there's a lot to talk about. Maybe some of you weren't around in 2002, but I was 12 years old in 2002. I was, going to see Spider-Man and Signs a bunch, I guess.
Yeah, you looked up what movies came out.
Yes.
So you would know. Those are your favorites?
Yeah, Spider-Man, Signs. Mila Kunis was hitting the silver screen with her best-known role in American Psycho 2. So, yeah, rough. Austin Powers was overstaying his welcome with like a fourth movie. They killed off Laurie Strode in Halloween Resurrection.
Spoilers.
Ridiculous. But we're not here to talk about movies. Let's get into the music. I want to start at what?
I'm just preparing because you're surprising me with stuff. So.
Oh yeah. I had no idea what you were doing. Yeah, I want to present these to you. Mm-hmm. I've looked at it, you haven't.
Right.
And I want to start at number 12 because I know that's a little weird, but there's not much to talk about 20 through 15. It's a lot of greatest hits. It's like Elton John greatest hits, Rolling Stones. It's that Nirvana collection that had You Know You're Right on it, and Fleetwood Mac, U2, a bunch of that sort of stuff. So number 12 is where it actually kind of starts, and that's Red Hot Chili Peppers, By the Way, which is an album I had and you had?
I did have it, yeah. It was the only Red Hot Chili Peppers album I've ever owned.
Me too, yeah. Everyone sort of owned Californications by osmosis. It just sort of if you entered a vehicle, it was usually there.
Yeah, my friend Brian had a truck, and if you got in the truck, that was what was on.
Yeah. My Uncle Mark had a car. If you went in the car, that's what was on.
Yeah.
So
if you turn on the radio,
that's usually what was on. Yeah, we've talked plenty about Chili Peppers on this channel. But By the Way is both of our favorite albums. It's kind of theirs. It's kind of a darker one. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, to say favorite is a bit of a misnomer for me because it's kind of the only one I've actually listened to all the way through, except for the one we reviewed.
Yeah, that's true. But there's something really appealing about the writing on By the Way. And I know John Frusciante took kind of a leadership role there. And that's kind of the reason for the change. And Flea taking kind of a back seat and just doing more supportive bass lines rather than the funkier stuff. I really like that side of the band, so I love By the Way.
Yeah, it's a good album.
Okay, number 11. Number 11 top-selling album, 2002, Cook Those Noodles, El Dente, Strain 'Em, Add the Meat Sauce 'Cause It's 8 Mile.
I never seen the movie or I know Lose Yourself.
Yeah, in which he asked
the only song?
No, it's a collection of songs. It's music from and inspired by the motion picture.
Yeah, they would do that. They'd be like, "Oh, we don't have enough songs, so here's some other singles that we want to promote."
I kind of have a theory that it was sort of a sneaky way of just doing a showcase of Shady Records, which was his record label.
Yeah,
because then there was a lot of artists on his label on there, which is cool. Get them out there more. Why not? Mm-hmm. But yeah, Lose Yourself, in which he asked the ridiculous question, if you had an opportunity to seize everything you've ever wanted, would you do it? Yeah, dude, I would do it.
Some people don't. Some people get too scared.
They take the alternative he presents, which is Let It Slip.
Yeah, Let It Slip.
Yeah, they let it slip.
I think this won Oscar for Best Song.
Probably.
I think I was just listening to a podcast episode actually this morning that talking about Oscar-winning songs, and I think they said this one actually won, and it was a big surprise.
Yeah, it makes sense. It was massive. It was just massive. Probably the most played music video of 2002. It'd be every other video was that Chad Kroeger song from Spider-Man, Lose Yourself.
And Eminem was really at the height of his career right then in a lot of ways.
And the big talk was like, he's actually really good in this. And I'm pretty
Right.
sure I saw it. I think someone like shoots himself in the dick and then he like escapes a fire.
I think he took acting lessons was like a big narrative.
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, he took acting lessons because he wants to do a good job. I don't know. I've never seen it, so I can't comment. But I sure heard that song a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting use of guitar in a hip hop track where, you know, a lot of guitar is used in like the West Coast hip hop scene with that more like dee 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 like high notes and stuff like Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre stuff. And then to have this have like this rockin' like jung, 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 jung.
Yeah, it had great intro.
Yeah.
Like you heard that and you're like, it's on. Like we're gonna, and it's kind of fun to sing along to if you can actually like learn the lyrics.
And of course,
stuff.
we got the mom spaghetti meme out of it.
Great meme.
He's got like a gray beanie on. That was kind of gray beanie era, post yellow hair era. So.
Oh yeah, it was just sort of like shorter. And yeah, more real.
And now for something completely different. Number 10, top selling album 2002 is Stripped by Christina Aguilera. Take it away.
I love that album. Yeah, I had that album. I recently re-listened to it, and it really holds up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you like pop music, you will love this album. I think if you don't love pop music, you know, there's a lot of. This is one of those albums that actually brought a lot of people to pop that weren't at the time really into it. There is a lot of guitar and things like that on this album. It was. You know, it was that era when the pop girls like Britney, you know, this has been talked about ad nauseum. I can't remember how to say that suddenly.
Ad nauseum.
And, you know, Britney did I'm a Slave for You and Christina did Stripped. And she was showing a lot of skin and she was really in your face about it. Looking back, I think it's a very powerful album. I think there's some songs that lyrically are super impressive, and of course her voice is incredible. It's such a showcase. There's not every single one's a hit, but I think it's over an hour long.
Wow.
It's a long album. I was surprised revisiting it. So, You Are Beautiful, it was a big one off of that. Dirty, of course.
A lot of like sweaty videos back then. It looked at all the videos back then, like I'm a Slave for You and Dirty. It looked very hot and humid.
Everyone was dripping. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we'll revisit that later with Nelly.
Oh, spoiler alert, I guess. Then.
Yeah, the temperatures are high in 2002.
The temperatures are very...
A lot of sweat going on.
Yeah, like, that Rob Thomas song.
It's a hot one.
It's a hot one.
Yeah. Smooth. Yeah. That's the opening line, right?
That's like
it's
that.
A hot one.
Yeah. And I think that was like maybe earlier than, so maybe that was the start of it. Maybe Rob is to blame.
Yeah. The eternal summer of 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting thinking about like I'm a Slave for You with like the Neptunes production, which is very like drum machine, like groove heavy versus the stuff on Stripped with a little more rock seeping in.
I really like her doing rock. Her voice works super well on like some more rock influenced stuff.
Yeah, she's got the grit.
And it was seen at the time as sort of a like, oh, she's trying to like do this thing, but she should just stay in her lane, which is, you know, pretty typical of the time, but worth revisiting or checking out if you are curious.
Yeah, and then like 2 years later, Kelly Clarkson comes in with rock and kind of...
Yeah, but she was doing it in this like very cute and innocent kind of way that was acceptable.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I love Kelly Clarkson too, so yeah.
Number 9. Let's Go Girls. It's Shania Twain. Up.
Okay, so
Exclamation point.
let me see the cover of it. Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know what songs are off that one.
Both Christina and Shania here have like their arms up. So it's
they're doing the same pose.
They're doing kind of the same pose. One's a wide shot, one's more close up. Shania Twain's Up. I guess we don't have too much to say about it. I'm not sure which Shania hits are from Up.
The only ones I know are off that, you know, it's like, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and You're Still the One.
They feel like those feel like they're earlier.
Yeah, those are all earlier. So I don't actually know.
Yeah.
I guess we could have looked that up, but you know.
Well,
whatever.
let's move on. Get to number 8.
I like Shania Twain. She's pretty cool.
Yeah. Glad she's in good health, rocking out with Harry Styles. Good stuff. Moving on to number 8, and justifiably, it's JT with Justified.
Ooh.
Yeah, coming in with that. Is it Neptunes or no, Timbaland?
Yeah, it was Timbaland and Neptunes were like
Kind of head to head.
your guys. And word on the street is that a lot of these songs were written for Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's right. You can totally hear that. Take something like Rock Your Body. It has that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
It has that element of Michael Jackson hits where you're bringing in more of like a real band performance, like really tight drums and like funky Nile Rodgers type guitar and stuff. Where it's a full band performance rather than just like, drum machine pop stuff. And yeah, you can totally hear that on Justified, that these are like Michael Jackson reject songs. And then JT kind of turns them into massive hits.
I don't know if they're rejects or just like if the project didn't move forward or whatever, but these were perfect. They were absolutely perfect for his voice. And at the time, it's so funny. I was reading like a comment on like the Popheads subreddit or something recently that was like, what is with Justin Timberlake? I've never actually met someone who's a fan of his. Like, is he even that cool? And I was just like, I mean, if you're younger, like you have no idea. You have no idea how massive this was. I have someone I worked with at 2 different jobs, an old coworker. She's like my age. To this day, she has Justin Timberlake posters on her office wall. Like she's still, and aside from there's some question about how he treated people,
right.
And clearly, like in Crimea River, there's a little allusion to Britney in there, and kind of like how he won the breakup. And looking back, it's not a great thing to do.
And I think he's acknowledged that.
Yeah. And, it was a part of like a larger cultural movement of, how we treated women pop stars. But, Rock Your Body, Crimea River. Was that one like Ain't Nobody Love You Like I Love You? Or was that the next album?
Doing things that you don't want to do. What was that one?
I don't know.
Century Feel For You. It was another sweaty, hot video. Everyone's sweating.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called.
Yeah, but like Rock Your Body had a great music video too. Like all the videos were great from that album, but Rock Your Body had a really awesome video.
Well, even more egregious on JT's part, 2017's Man of the Woods, just unforgivable. And I don't think anyone even remembers that album. An album that truly came and went.
He is like aggressively not cool anymore. It's so weird.
Yeah, what happened?
I hope he's happy and living a good life.
I'm sure he is. He has lots and lots of money. All right, don't even think about getting out of that falsetto. Stay in the falsetto. Because it's time to talk about a collection of songs about a girl named Jane. Maroon 5, songs about Jane.
This is like, what a year. Jeez. A lot of stuff is happening this year.
A lot of guys up in head voice.
Yeah.
Maroon 5's there. He's whipping sand around in that video, kicking all over the place. That's
Which video?
In the This Love video. I just remember he's just like, there's sand and he's like... It kind of gets all up in the sand at one point.
I guess I'll have to do a rewatch.
The mic cable is whipping sand. There's probably a lot of cameras were probably ruined.
I actually had this album. I think,
you did?
Yeah, I kind of liked the singles, and I never like really was like, oh, I love this album, but I would listen to it sometimes. Recently, we watched a video on a retrospective on their career, and like, I just wasn't following them closely, and I was shocked at some of the songs that are by them that I had no idea were by them. I was just, that's them.
Here on Not Every Single, we like to call some of them grocery store songs, which means you go shopping at like Food Town or Safeway or whatever, and you just sort of hear them and know them, and you don't really know who they're by.
Yeah.
Those are grocery store
And there's like
songs.
a lot of different, they started bringing in a lot of outside songwriters later in their career, which saved their career. This was a big album though, and they had some like good cred when this came out. It wasn't just like they're this fun band or whatever. People liked them and were curious what they were going to do next.
Well, what's next on the list? Break out the Band-Aid. Nellyville. We're now entering Nellyville.
Nelly was so huge.
It's huge. Probably one of the biggest rappers that then kind of like dipped back into obscurity so hard.
So explain the Band-Aid then, because people might not know. He just wore a Band-Aid.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it. I think it has something to do with like a tribute to his friend that passed or something. But the Band-Aid was hot conversation back then.
Was this the album that there was like a country crossover song that he did?
Yeah.
That was like, it was like you're a rapper doing a song with a country artist, like, you know.
Yeah.
Now you got, you know, Billy
Old
Ray
Town
Cyrus and Lil Nas X, you know, it's like awesome to do. He was a trailblazer with that for sure.
Yeah, and then you know, I think he had some subsequent hit albums maybe, but I haven't heard about Nelly in a very long time. Now let's move on to someone who's still alive and kicking somewhere. Now, we've been talking a lot here. We've been talking a while.
Yeah.
So we need a little less conversation, a little more action. It's Elvis's 30 number one hits, which I got to assume is due to the popularity of that song's use in Ocean's 11 the year prior.
Is that what did it? And
I
also,
think
like,
that's what did it. Because how else would you buy the song?
yeah.
You'd have to get that. It's just on that collection.
Yeah. Yeah, it kicked off. I mean, there was like a music video for that song somehow.
It was a remix. It had like a break beat.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty cool. I don't know. I listened to Elvis when I was a kid, so like I'm down.
Never really got into Elvis.
You don't really like older stuff like that most of the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's like
It's
the
fine.
Beatles. I can appreciate all the influence and what it meant to the music industry, but it's just not something I really listen to. Not something I'm going to throw on. But what I will throw on occasion is number 4 on the best-selling albums of 2002. This band's only good album, Rush of Blood to the Head
I knew
by
this was
Coldplay.
coming. I love this album so much. I've actually never listened to Parachutes ever.
Oh, I've heard it.
Yeah. And I think after this album, I bought X and Y and was kind of like, this is
Yeah, it's like the boring version.
boring.
Let's do this album again, but boring.
But Rush of Blood to the Head is brilliant and gorgeous. It's the vocal delivery is so emotional and like beautiful and full of all this wonderful tone and dynamics. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really get tired of this album.
No, he slides from one vocal delivery to the other. Mm-hmm. There's never it's like seamless.
Yeah.
He's going from a low up into a sweeping high, and you didn't even know what hit you because he's just gliding up and down all over the place.
Let's talk a little bit about the singles off this album, just because there were a lot.
So we start with The Scientist, I believe.
First of some great music videos from them.
Yeah, that's the
I highly recommend you watch that if you haven't seen it.
Okay, I'm gonna say one thing about the video though is I prefer the version, like audio wise, the track. I actually prefer the music video because I think that song works even better when it has that little edit in the beginning. It goes ba 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 ba, come up to me.
Okay,
Just like
I didn't know there was different versions.
Yeah, they trimmed a little bit just for length, and so it like starts with the vocal.
Gotcha.
Like right on the one, and you know the studio version it has a bit of a lead up, which is fine too. I still love the song to death, and I never get sick of it. But I like that edit.
Do you know the order? I know Clocks was.
I think Clocks was second.
Huge.
Kind of less cool of a video though, more performance video.
The laser light thing was kind of new at the time and pretty cool. Another great song, one of those songs I feel like I shouldn't like it as much as I do, but somehow it's better than it should be.
It's just so powerful, and that piano riff, what do you call it? Piano part. That piano part, it like makes you think like, how has that not been done before? It seems like that song should have already been made because it's so it's instantly in your head forever.
Yeah.
And it's so good. And I also want to mention the album opens with, is it Politic, I think. And so you just get this, you put the album on, you hit play on your CD player, your Walkman, and there's like this swell, this noise swell, and then it's just ba ba ba.
That's
ba,
great.
ba,
That how yeah.
So
if you've heard
good.
the album, you know what we're talking about. There's probably I don't know what the other singles are. I'm blanking now.
God Put a Smile Upon Your Face, I think.
That's a good one. It's not
Maybe
as
Green
good.
Eyes.
Green Eyes, famously about Gwyneth Paltrow, a lovely little love song. If you only know the weird, like, post, like, starting with, like, Viva La Vida and later Coldplay, you have no idea what they were doing at this time.
Yeah, go take in Rush of Blood to the Head in its entirety. And hey, if you think we should give one of their later albums a second chance,
or a first chance,
go ahead and throw us a recommendation. Maybe we'll make a video about it.
Cool.
Okay. Getting into the top 3. Do you have any predictions?
I feel like Avril's going to be on here.
Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm not really like good at years. I only know that because we talked about it.
Well, you got it in one. Number 3, Avril
Lavigne.
Been talking a lot tonight. Avril Lavigne, Let Go, the number 3 top-selling album of 2002. Now, we're going to breeze past this because if you'd like to hear more, we actually have
an entire video,
a like half an hour long video of me hearing the record for the first time. So go check that out.
This was
from a couple weeks ago.
I wouldn't say a heavy rotation album for me, but a solid rotation album for me.
Yeah.
At the time, looking back, not everyone's a winner, but Avril, she was a trailblazer.
I'm going to say one thing about it. Fried chicken ass. All right. Moving on. Okay. Number 2, do not adjust your television set. It's the Eminem show.
Eminem is back.
I mean, Eminem was just inescapable back then. It was
and people
just
were like,
he was
white
everywhere
guy
and
can
everywhere.
rap. They couldn't stop talking about how a white guy was rapping and how he's actually good.
And all the controversy, and you can't say that on a record, and blah blah blah. All these things that are like, people wouldn't really bat an eye now because for some reason back in 2002 they could not grasp the concept that he is embodying a character with a separate name, Slim Shady, doing violent acts and blah 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 on the record. He's not actually doing these things.
Yeah, it's a character. Yeah. Like what are the singles off this one?
Well, first off was Without Me.
Yep.
So you got to follow the pattern because
explain this.
Yeah, just like the pop punk genre, this genre kind of has a pattern too, and in particular, Eminem had a pattern. The first single is the catchy, silly one where you make fun of people in the music video, just like Blink-182's pattern. The second single is where you get serious, and I believe that was Cleaning Out My Closet.
Oh yeah.
That was sort of the I can't think of the one from Marshall Mathers LP, Whatever You Say I Am or whatever. But yeah, Clean Out My Closet, which wasn't really, it kind of bugged me because it has this percussion. Usually the Dr. Dre production is not like grating or anything, but there's this like percussion on Cleaning Out My Closet that's like so dry and forward in the mix that drives me insane.
Only you would be bothered by that.
You're probably right. And then, I had a couple other singles. I think he did White America at like an awards show.
Oh, that was a pretty cool performance. Yeah.
It was like senators like throwing stuff at him and stuff like that. Yeah, it was just as big as an album could possibly be. Except for number 1, I guess. You want to see what it is?
Yeah, what's bigger than that?
What's bigger than that? It's kind of a surprise. The album is Come Away With Me by Norah Jones.
Oh, yeah. You know why this was the biggest album, though? Because she was the Adele of this year. Like, her voice was much more subtle. But, like, I had this album. Anybody had this album. Your mom had the album. Like, you could just put this on. It really is a beautiful album. I do like it a lot. I actually like when I had my mole removed at my dermatologist's office. I had like a very serious mole removal, and I passed out. I'm bad with, and this is what she put on. She was like, "Oh, I'll put on some music for you," and this is the album that she put on like 20 years later.
Okay, yeah. That's where they ended up. All the CDs ended up in a dentist or dermatologist office for calming patients.
And this is a timeless kind of an album. Like if you listen to it, it's not going to have these earmarks of like the early 2000s. It's, it's like kind of in its own way. We were watching a video about like 2000s music and kind of like how Amy Winehouse was, so she was kind of an earlier version of that, I guess.
What was the big single?
Come Away With Me. Come away with me in the night.
Okay. Yeah.
Not my best singing job, but
that was good.
There's a couple. Okay, hold on. Because I feel like that was the second single. Now there was.
Okay. I've never heard this record, although I did work at a record store, and I know that kind of beneath the racks where we have all the used CDs and stuff, we had probably about 67 copies of this record.
It's like I said, it's like an Adele album. Like
they all got to end up somewhere.
So it's called, the single's called Don't Know Why. Don't know why I didn't come.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was like, the music video was like, she's in like a tank top and walking on the beach. And it was one of those kind of things. And,
one of those kind of things.
Yeah. You know what I mean though.
I know.
Like that kind of simple, it looked I think it like looked kind of like retro-y, like VHS kind of like deteriorated. It's a really good album. I don't think you would care about it, but,
good guess.
Yeah. But it's funny. Like a lot of these hold up for me.
Yeah, totally. It was a strong year in music. It's crazy. So, Come Away With Me outsold the Eminem show by like 7 million.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. It's like everyone had this album, and you could probably, I think at the time, you'd go to Target and like sometimes a CD would be like $5 randomly. And so I'm pretty sure that's why I had it. I was like, ooh, this is $5. I'll buy it. Like a lot of albums I had were because of that.
I gotta wonder that if younger Eminem fans were a little more privy to just getting the album on the internet.
That's possibly a big factor as well. Yeah, just like downloading it.
Or knowing how to rip their friend's copy. Yeah. Or like skateboarding into Walmart and stealing it.
I don't know if it's like 7 million people's worth of that though.
It's gotta contribute somewhat.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good insight. Any other like pop up on that list that you want to talk about or just mention? Or
no, no honorable mentions really, because like I said, it's a lot of best ofs in the back in the like. Three Doors Down,
oof.
Alan Jackson, Toby Keith. You got David Gray, Kenny Chesney. A lot of those guys are like down further.
There's Audio Slave.
And then, Audio Slave is 28, which is kind of the only like super group on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting year in music. I'd say the thing that it makes me think of the most is just how far we've come with genre-less music, genre bending. Everything on this list is like, it's this kind of thing, or it's this kind of thing, or it's this kind of thing. You don't have like a Billie Eilish or someone that's doing like all different kinds of music and therefore cultivating an even more massive fan base. It's kind of, do you like this sort of thing? Okay, then you're the person that listens to Eminem.
It was like pop or rap. Like that was like what was happening.
Yeah, rock does not really have a lot going on that list besides, I guess, like Avril and the Chili Peppers.
Yeah, Chili Peppers would be the closest. And then like you saw, you have to go pretty far down to get Three Doors Down, which I wouldn't call rock, but it was kind of typical of what was about to happen in rock.
I mean, what would you call it then?
Yeah, it's just bad, but...
Genre, bad.
Okay, we've been going on for a bit here.
We've been blabbing for a while. This was really fun. If you like this, tell us, give us a year. We'll do another one. Maybe we'll take a look at 2012 before the year's up. Kind of get that like each decade going on.
92 would be like, I wouldn't know anything.
It'd just be talking about Nirvana.
Yeah.
Okay. we're going on and on here. A little less conversation, a little more action. Thanks for joining us. This is Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
See you next time.
Bye.